Careful now.
Not
do
me.
you need some support
Not
there?
me being morbidly obese,
Oh,
taking
stop.
off the chair.
Not even close.
Welcome to another episode of My 600-Pound Life. Welcome to another episode of A Girl Business Podcast. Today I'm here with Christie, who owns Region Burger in beautiful Greenville, California, alongside her husband. And I'm going to let you take it from here, go as far back as possible. The girls love the details.
Far back as possible. I grew up in the East Bay area with my mom and my dad and my grandma. I've got a few siblings, an older brother, a couple younger sisters. Did the normal city living thing, elementary school. Wasn't super enthusiastic about it. I like to create things and talk to people more than I liked to do my schoolwork. And then same thing happened in high school. I liked to create things. Home ec was fun. Biology was fun for the experiments, but the book work was uninteresting. History was a bore, so I wasn't super academic. I wasn't interested. I found college out of feeling unintelligent. Somebody made me feel really unintelligent in my life. And I started college sort of in spite of a simple comment. It's very catty, I know, but that's how I sort of began wanting to be educated, was like, really? Like, let me see what this is all about. So I went to the junior college in Pleasant Hill. The heck is the name of that college? Doesn't even matter. DVC, Diablo Valley College. And I found out that, lo and behold, I am not into academia. I'm an artist. Lo and behold, it's really hard for me to pass basics like math, and I have to try really hard just to get there, like 3 semesters in on algebra before I could pass a class. So I also found things like ceramics and photography and dance, and that was what got me through my college education, which was only 4 years to get an AA, worth every minute. I got my degree, my big AA degree, and slapped it on a resume real quick. Pumped out a dozen resumes and landed my first office girl job, which I stayed at for a very long time. I was the phone girl in the beginning and worked my way up to some form of office management, doing a collaboration of all of the things. And then as the company grew, my role became more of a coordinator, like an event coordinator. So I was in charge of doing the temporary signage and tasting stations, the organizing of scheduling of contractors and installers and having the signs made. And I helped out with a lot of that for all of the Safeways and Safeway brands throughout the United States.
Oh my gosh.
Super fun, super high-paced, stressful ass job. It was really fun. And so there was no way I was going to look at school after that.
Right.
I advanced quickly. I was making great money for what, in my mind's eye, was great money at the time. And so I just ran with it for decades. And then when I decided I wanted children, about 30 somewhere, my son came, my oldest son, who's now 13. Roran came, and I realized that being in, an office scene wasn't my jam. So I stuck with it, and I tried to find a space here and a space there and different kind of offices and different kind of businesses, and wasn't finding what I wanted. And somehow I ended up finding, what did I do after office? I did so many things. I tried starting my own little side businesses, like crafting stuff, where I would have like an Etsy store. I make amazing purses out of upcycled pants.
Oh, that's cool.
They're fun. I've sold maybe 6 of the 30 some odd of them that I've made, and they're in a storage box in my storage. If anybody ever wants to buy a jean purse, I've got really cool ones with cool pockets hidden and zipped in and stuff. So that was a fun dead end, but very crafty nonetheless. Dream job would be to actually sell ceramics and be able to make ceramics that people wanted to use and bought all the time. Pipe dream. Um, I fell in with an art studio in the town I grew up in doing art parties for children.
Oh, fun.
I collected up all kinds of mediums of art in themed kits and took them to parties, or people would come to the studio and have parties, and we would do tie-dye or unicorn, princess, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Super Mario, like every single theme you could possibly think of, including the Egyptian one, which was epic, that I did here. Uh, the best job ever, creating art and then sharing it with children and watching them like burst with joy and then take away these great things home from their party instead of candy in a plastic bag. Very proud of that job. Then COVID happened. And in one news brief, I lost my career. And Dennis at that time was in locksmithing. He was working for a company in Concord doing locksmithing and doing very well, moving up in the ranks there. He hung on as one of those mandatory jobs. You know, there was this time where like people got a break and got to stay at work. He was one of those, but only for a short time, and then he got the axe too. So the locksmith and the art teacher were out of work, masked up at home. At this point, we now have Sunny. I had Sunny with Dennis. We got married in 2016, and he's epic. So COVID lockdown is where he came up with Region Burger. It was all him. I was probably, I don't even remember, I think it's just such a blur at that time. We watched a lot of TV and a lot of Food Network, and he talked about burgers and regional burgers, and there's a show that he watched. A gentleman traveled the United States experimenting the different burgers. And then Dennis talked about a restaurant. Wouldn't that be cool if we had a restaurant, you know, and we had all the regional burgers? And I never thought twice, you know, it was just passing the time conversation. 9 months forward, people are starting to take off their masks in faraway places that we heard about, you know, not down in the Bay Area. They're
Right.
still triple masking down there. I'm so sorry, y'all. So we decided to escape and move to the mountains because that's where we felt like we could breathe. And so we ended up here. And we didn't end up here purposefully. There was basically a house purchase that went south, and we ended up bailing on it and we didn't have a place to go back in the Bay because we had already sold the house there.
Oh,
And
goodness.
so we were like flying by the seat of our pants, which is what we do naturally. It's something we're both pretty good at. So we've been flying by the seat of our pants. We're good at it. We decided to stay. So we ended up here. We live at the family ranch. My uncle and aunt own this the ranch that we live at. I used to come here childhoods for summer vacations. And came here for like refuge, like what are we gonna do next? And my uncle's like, just kick it, figure out what you're gonna do, you know, let me know how it goes. Let me know. Settle in for a minute. By February, we got here in December. By February, we were like, can we just post up? Like, we'll just start paying rent. We'll take care of the place. And he's like, yeah, dig in. And so, okay, let's get jobs. Jobs were not really tasty. You know, like we hear about the mill that's, I've heard people call it like the frown factory, you know, where dreams go to die.
Yeah.
And office jobbing, you know, I could have probably slung myself out for an office job, but I would have been miserable instantly. And so we're like kicking rocks around. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? We got to start some kind of business. And Dennis is like, wife, artist wife, you want to make a region burger instead of anything else with me? And I'm like, yeah. Yes, let's do it. And so we dug in hard. We were going to do a mobile thing because we knew right off being here that the town was small. We were going to probably need to go to Quincy, Susanville, come here when we could, um, for events and whatever we could get from, business from here, as it was a very small town. And we're looking for commissary. Commissary is a building that you're required to have when you have a mobile kitchen to do big cleaning and stuff like that, prep work and stuff. We're looking for commissary, and we found Anna's Cafe, which when I was a kid was the Coach House. A small backstory about the Coach House. When I was a kid, coming here for summer vacations, there was a spiral staircase in the Coach House, and there was a chain going across like 2 or 3 steps up, and I just always wanted to go up there because I could never see past the top spiral. I didn't know it was up there, and I knew it was something I wanted to see. And I have vivid memories of my grandmother telling me, do not cross that chain. Like, second step, that's it. Stop playing around, like, stop messing with the chain, that you're not going up there. So we're looking at it as like this commissary situation, and we step in, and Anna's showing us around, and of course I want to like instantly go up the staircase, and like I had to see what was up there. I don't care if I'm grown. It was so exciting. It was so exciting. There was no chain. It felt so free. And I was like, this place is so cool. I knew it the whole time.
It was like the glass ceiling.
Oh, it was so good.
Ceiling.
And it was just, a dirty upstairs of a restaurant that needed a solid scrub in because it hadn't been loved in some time.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was like, well, why are you trying to go mobile? I'm like, well, because we're going mobile. I don't know. She's like, why don't you just do the restaurant? Just do the restaurant. And if you like it in a year, you can buy it. Just try it. Just try it. It's worth it, She gave us the rundown of what we could expect and what her history with it was. And I was instantly attached, right? Instantly attached to childhood, building, breakfast. I could hear the clanking of the coffee cups and the silverware and the smells and the people talking. And I was like, yeah, let's go. And Dennis was like, yeah, let's go. So we started cleaning out Anna's, and it took us 2 months. At that time, now it's Anna's. It's not the Coach House anymore, fast forwarding. So we clean out Anna's. We get it all ready. I was in like the last week. I had everything cleaned up, plates everything stocked back in, orders nearly placed with U.S. Foods and all of the, things coming in. A crew hired, ready to start and come in for their training. Like I was about to send out the text of like, next week's like our go time for training. We've got a week of training before we kick off. And then the fire came, and we evacuated once. And I'm going to go through this one really fast. We evacuated once for a week and got let back in, and then we evacuated again, and everything burnt down really quickly after that. And then we had to wait a couple weeks to come back home, and we had thought that a couple times we had thought that our stuff had burned, and we knew that our friends' things were burning, and the people that we had evacuated with left their space really, really quickly to come, with embers falling at their feet, needed a place to go, and we told them where we were. And they came and they stayed with us, and we sort of evacuated with these couple of friends of ours. And then when we got to come back, we hadn't lost home, thankfully. We have the ranch still. Lost half of my chickens, my garden, the restaurant we were working to open. But it was nothing compared to what I was seeing around me, what other people were suffering. And so we wanted to just feed people. We wanted to just continue and push through and help people. So we started, we met Mary Shero from Mary's German Grill. She doesn't have her food trailer anymore, but she's an amazing community member, and she helps save the cats around here. God bless her. We met her, and she was serving food on the side of the road under the old rotary canopy that they had across the way. And I made quick friends with her by showing up to her dinners a couple times, and was like, okay, well, I want to do this too. And she was like, well, maybe we can get you a spot. Just come bend next to me, whatever. Come throw down your burgers. And we did. And we were able to do that with the help of the community, because we had kind of tossed everything. Like, we had this small lump sum that was going to be for kicking off insurance, the first payroll, and like the first couple of orders, but really we were down to it as it was. And one of our great angels here is Carol Franchetti from Carol's Prattville Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see that smile. I know you know her.
Mm-hmm.
She's good, right?
Yeah,
She's amazing,
I just interviewed
right?
her a
She's
couple
the
weeks ago.
best. I watched.
Yeah.
I love it.
Hi, Carol.
Hi, Carol. We love you. She had done a fundraiser with one of the community organizations, and there were so many. I feel terrible for not remembering the acronym or the name. Possibly Sierra Institute. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry if I forgot. It's been years, you all. At any rate, she gifted us a good lump that helped us get a small kitchen in a tent going, with like a little, hand wash situation and nice coolers. And we started just trying to serve out what we could, where we could, events, street side, if we had the nerve to go rogue, because it's very much going rogue. You're not allowed to do that. You have to be permitted with the right things.
Look away, feds.
Look away. Don't look, Pat Sanders. But we ended up meeting Clint Cobley then. Clint Cobley helped us through a grant process with others to capture the end of a grant program that needed to fulfill a food program. It was like the tail end of what they were doing, and they were like, we have to make this food program where we give food out to people. And me and Dennis are like, that's what we want to do. Like, let's go. They bought a used mobile kitchen, and we posted it up here in the spot right over there by where the thrift store is. And we sold our food sometimes, and sometimes people would come with these tickets that were given out by this organization, and they would get their free meals, like these meal vouchers for fire recovery. And we did that for a whole season. It was awesome. It was like the best kickoff. When I look at the pictures now of what the trailer was, our little dinky trailer, and like my row of plants in the front of the trailer that I was striving to bring some greenery, right? It was cute. It was cute. And I'm glad we did it, and I'm glad we stayed. That trailer had to go. After that season, it had to go be used for other things. So they came and retrieved it. And we were at that point in hot pursuit of the PG&E lawsuit. And I'm grateful to say that I'm pretty sure we chose the right lawyers, because of them fighting for us, they helped us get back in service to the community. And we used our PG&E settlement to get that Gigantor red trailer. Dennis and I designed that trailer together and had it built by a company up in Oregon. It's got so many sinks in it. So it's basically a commercial kitchen on wheels. It's not your average food truck. I would not want to tow that thing from event to event, because it's a beast. It's got 3 commercial-sized refrigerators in it.
Wow.
One of them being a deli station. It's got its own ice maker. It's got 6 sinks in it, right? Because we've got our triple. And because we didn't have easy access to commissary, but knew we could plumb in here into the water and sewer and PG&E, we had them design it with massive sinks. So I have commercial-size washing sinks. I have a commercial-size food sink that's just for the food, and then our hand wash sinks. There's a bathroom on board in case we needed, which we haven't needed it yet, because here at the spot we have the flushing toilets that came in via the waste station. It's a great community here. I cannot speak highly enough for this community and the support that the people provide. Thank you. I love you. I love them. Because if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be here doing this. So, here we are. This is our second season. I don't know if I'm talking close enough to that. It's our second season in the mothership. We have cool signs. We have a great garden. We have, thanks to the Rotary, a beautiful gazebo-like area. They came in and custom built the trellises that are over there that my wisteria and vining plants are currently climbing. that space has kicked off a different side of gardening in me that I didn't know existed. I love gardening. I love growing vegetables, even though I usually eat them before I can get them to the kitchen, which means I don't grow that many. But it's fun and it's a passion and it's a therapy and it feels great. But now that I'm down here, I have this urge to make it like this lush green, tropically colorful, I just want it to be like this oasis where when people drive by, they want to stop and relax. And maybe they're hungry. And Dennis ensures I gotta get back to this guy. I've got to get back to this guy. So it was his idea. I did the business part behind it. I did the administration. Gladly, I did the administration, and I still do. Actually, it's the only administration that I could tolerate at this time.
It's different when it's your own,
It's
right?
different
You're
when
like,
it's
okay,
your
this,
own.
this isn't so bad.
We're both super hands-on, but I have to give him so much of the credit because the menu is mostly his and the ideas are his and the quality control. He takes such a large part in and pride in what is going out that window. It's a passion. It's really cliche to say something is a passion. I think, oh, it's a passion of mine. It's a passion because I've got 500 passions, y'all. Okay. But to watch this guy work in the kitchen, you can tell that he gives the biggest care about everything he's making, and it's important. And the ingredients for the both of us are really important. We started cleaner eating at home. I can't say we're like perfectly clean eating folks at home, but we are largely, to the dismay of my children, an ingredients-based household.
Oh, I love that.
And now recently to the point where we don't even have best foods at home. I'm making mayonnaise for both Region Burger and home. And they're like, we're out of mayonnaise all the time. And I'm like, well, I have to make it all the time. You have to wait a little minute. We might not have mayonnaise for a day, and I'm sorry it's not shelf stable and you just can't grab another jar off the shelf, but it's not going to kill you. It's all natural stuff. My jars don't say bioengineered product on them. And we really pride ourselves on that. Dennis, it's really important to him. He's sort of the one that kicked off the clean eating thing for us. So I'm all over it. I love it. And when we started doing it at home, it didn't take long for us to realize that we need to do it here too. Clean eating at home reflected into clean service out of Region Burger pretty rapidly. But the sentiment was a lot easier to feel than making it happen. The search and starting to, find the things that were okay. Finally making the decision to switch to beef tallow instead of any seed oils or nut oils. That was a big decision. I had already started making my own sauces, like the Region sauce and the ranch. I was making my own, but I was using Best Foods mayonnaise. The seasonings were all mine. And decent ketchup and mustard. We go with ketchup that doesn't have high fructose corn syrup, like the simple ketchup.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes our ketchup packets are the other ones, but that's only because if they don't have them, I know people would rather have ketchup than not have ketchup, and I have to get over my hurdle a little bit.
Yeah.
So if we can help it, you're getting all of the good stuff. If you ever see a ketchup packet that's not the good stuff, it's because, well, they didn't have it at the time and you want ketchup. So clean eating is super important, and it needs to reflect here and at home. So that's where that went. And Dennis is great at all of it. He's great at everything that happens inside the kitchen. He's my guide outside of the kitchen and in all of the business decisions and a lot of how we're figuring out bookkeeping and stuff too. Like neither of us are bookkeepers. I like to paint. He likes to make music. And so bookkeeping and money, we're really good at using money,
Mm-hmm. Yes. I know exactly what you
And so
mean.
budgeting it is a different story. We're working on it. It's getting better. So yeah,
Well,
I think that brings us to the present.
yeah.
We're right about here.
So about the clean eating thing, because
Yeah.
I know that you guys do gluten-free chicken strips.
Our whole fryer is gluten free. Yeah.
That is awesome because
Thank you.
I have my friend Vicky is in
Mhm.
Quincy, and she has to be gluten free,
Mhm.
and she says that she can't find onion rings anywhere. So I said I would ask if you guys have gluten free onion rings.
So we don't do onion rings. I find that onion ring batter really mucks up the oil. And especially with beef tallow, it's a very tricky oil to keep clean and filtered, and it only lasts a long time if you treat it right. As it is, we've been discussing and this is deep into the Region Burger discussion here. We've been discussing on if we need a separate fryer for our chicken strips, because our chicken strips, they have that gluten free. It's like a corn breading, and it's got all great ingredients. There's nothing weird in it that shouldn't be, but it flakes off a bit, and then it sits in there and it's frying in there the whole time. They're bits that we can't get with just scooping it with the net. And so we were discussing possibly a smaller fryer that's just separate for the chicken, so we can try to make better use of the beef tallow that's very expensive.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And yeah, so gluten free. I think the only thing, hold on, let me think about this. There are three items in my trailer that have gluten. Are buns. There is a small bag of flour for when I make roux, but we don't really use roux at work. It's just when I cook for home at work that I use the flour. And then the other thing that has it is the Oreos. Everything else in there is gluten free. I don't think I have a stitch of gluten in there other than that. So unless it was like this really insane case of like you couldn't even have a crumb of bread toasted on the space where the meat was cooked. Like it would have to be that sensitive, I believe, for it to be an issue. But we also have it on our menu that says, this is what's gluten free, and we have gluten free buns.
That's
Gluten-free
awesome.
buns are good. Yeah, Trader Joe's are the way to go. We thought it was Udi's.
I've never even heard of Udi's. What's Udi's?
Udi's is a brand, just UDI''S. They have decent gluten-free breads and like healthy breads, but we found out through one of our non-gluten folks that Trader Joe's buns are the way to go for burger buns, and they were right. They're the most convincing gluten-free burger bun in the universe.
Nice. That's
So,
so Vicky, you heard it here.
Vicky, Trader Joe's
Trader
gluten-free burger
Joe's.
buns, but you probably already know about it.
Yeah. And come on down for she said, "Oh my gosh, I miss chicken tenders so much." And I said,
Oh, they're so good. They're good.
I can't
Try
wait to
'em.
try it. I'm sure people are listening and they want to come down.
Yeah.
What are the hours? I know that you guys do a really good job of keeping everybody up to date on Facebook,
We
but
try.
what's that journey been like? Like staffing and hours and working in a small mountain community.
The journey of consistent hours. You know, I could say so much about this. All right, so when you have a job in the city and there's thousands of people around you, and at least dozens of those people probably could or would do your job if they could, it's real easy to find consistency. But when you're in a town that's burnt down and you've got less than 1,000 people, and you're a family business that's run by a mom and a dad with 2 kids, or just busy people, it's hard to stay consistent. So the struggle has been staying open on the days we say we're open. And we have punished ourselves quite a bit since the beginning in trying to adhere to this city-style convenience for people to just rest assured Region Burger's there like McDonald's is, but we're not McDonald's. We're Dennis and Christie Hazelton, and Sonny if you're lucky enough to know him, and Roran if you're lucky enough to know him. And so those are our priorities right there, Sonny and Roran. And higher than that, even Dennis and myself need self-care too sometimes, and we have our own lives besides dedicating ourselves to Region Burger and feeding the community. So it's been hard because there have been equally as many people who have been probably a little bit annoyed at us not having all of the consistency, but there's also equal as many people that see us and the situation for what it is and go, thank you for being there when you can. The burgers are great. And we just lean in on those folks. Honestly, at this point, I know that I'm working really hard, and we're even trying to, make things bigger and better. We have been successful enough this season that I have an employee.
Ooh.
Dennis and I have an employee.
Ooh.
And
Shout out to the employee.
shout out, employee. You're the best, girl. I love you. And we've got some other backups too. I would say more on that, but I've got to hold back on a little bit because we've got some stuff in the works. But things are moving and shaking, and we are going to be in Greenville for a very, very long time. But it's not easy. It's a lot of work for a little bit of pay. But it's so worth it because, I don't know. I felt it before the fire, and then after the fire, I think both of us feel it even more. There's a super solid connection to the place and to the people, and I think that other community members can vouch to that there's some magic here that happens, and it captured us, and so y'all are kind of stuck with us.
So what are the official hours?
The official hours, what we strive for right now, is Tuesday through Friday from 12 to 7. We keep it 7, even though that last hour is really slow, because we were informed by some community members that it's hard to get from Quincy to Greenville with the traffic and make it to Regensburger for a dinner. So Monday through Friday, we decided we'd keep going until 7. Saturday, though, 12 to 6. We closed down an hour early to kick off our weekend an hour early. And then, and if there's a caveat to those days, it's because, Sunny had more appointments and Roran had more appointments than Dennis and I could spread ourselves through. Or maybe Regensburger was really running low on supplies and I had to run to Reno or Chico to make sure that we had lettuce and onions and tomatoes that weren't wilted and gross. And so one of us had to be gone and the other one had to go help Sunny. And so those are reasons why we close, right? Like perfectly legitimate. However, I can see how down in the city or for some high expectations, that's out of this world, but that's where we stand, Yeah. We've got our lineup of priorities and we put the kids and our health first.
As you should.
Yeah. Sundays and Mondays are days for the Lord, days for house cleaning, and days for supplying Regensburger. And I'm the resident gardener at home and at Regensburger, and that's really important for my time.
Definitely.
Daily.
And you guys have quite the following because I see that you sell out a lot.
We do, and I can't say. Okay, so there's a trick. There's a thing to this. So selling out really means that I didn't grind enough meat that day. I didn't telepathically know how many customers were going to want burgers that day, and I underground. That's what selling out means. From a business standpoint, it's better to have enough than to sell out, because we want to keep going and going and going and going. But from the food safety and quality standpoint, I would rather sell out of meat than not have fresh food. Like that's our gig, man. Mm-hmm. Fresh food. It's fresh every day.
I love it. I would rather, every time I see that you guys sell out, I'm like, hell yeah, good for you.
I love it. Yeah. So what that'll do is that'll trigger me to that day the next week, I'll do like a pound or two more grind, right? And then sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. Like we eat a lot of ground beef at home. Mm-hmm. We do, because it's not going to sit there and then get, it's got to come home. It's got to get used. Or everybody bring your dog and ask for a puppy patty. You know what I'm saying? Like, help me from having to take home leftover beef when we don't sell out.
Dog friendly.
All the dogs, all the animals. Bring your cat. I like cats.
One of the girls on my Facebook has a pet snake. Bring your snake.
Bring your snake. Birds. Bring the birds.
I love it.
Yeah, we're friendly. Don't let them do the thing. Don't let them do the thing on the grass. But they're welcomed, and I have water and puppy patties, and I'll even do that puppy ice cream thing where they put it in a cup and it's cute.
We
got
adorable.
all of that.
Yeah. Nothing else you could ask for, really.
Yeah.
So when you guys decided, like, okay, we want to go into the restaurant industry, you said that you handle a lot of the admin.
Mm-hmm.
So what type of licensing or insurance or background can you give to the girls that might be interested in doing something like what you and Dennis have done?
It's tedious, and if you can handle tediousness, it's pretty dang easy. So here's how I did it. I have multiple master degrees from YouTube University. And I know how to use Facebook. So I find groups on Facebook when I want to learn stuff or know about stuff, and I follow them. And when we first started doing Region Burger, I found this group on Facebook called Food Truck Training, started by a man named Bill Moore, somewhere around this beautiful country. And when I started following him and doing his guides in his page, he had about 10,000 followers. And I think he's got upwards of like 50,000 followers. It's huge. It's way more than that. I'm probably totally saying the numbers less than what they are. But in the few years that I've been paying attention, this guy's program and what he advises people to do to get their food truck businesses up off the ground nationwide. You can apply what he's got to say nationwide, wherever you're at. He's got guides posted. He's got Excel spreadsheets with every single gajillion formula where you just put in the basic information that, he said to put this in. The formula says to put this in. Oh, I know what that number is. Put it in. 4 or 5 tabs later, you have all these answers. It's great. Like your menu, your pricing, your profit and loss. It gets really deep. Like if you really are a stickler about inventory, which we haven't gotten to that point yet. We eat too much of our food to be sticklers about inventory.
Life hack.
Life hack. Eat your own food. It's good. Healthy stuff. So Bill Moore's Food Truck Training. Follow it. Contact your local city or county, depending on what jurisdiction you fall in. You're either going to be in the city or the county, and download the whole 24 pages or however long it is, information of the requirements that you need for your commissary and the requirements that you have to have for your trailer or truck. Check all of the boxes. Get insurance. Pay the $121 to the Environmental Health Agency for the certificate. They'll come and inspect your rig and make sure that it's proper and clean and holding the right temperatures. You have to do that in every county that you serve in. So if you serve in Lassen, Sierra, and Plumas, you have to have a health department permit for all 3 of those, but they'll probably all have the same similar requirements. You just have to pay each one separate. And find out where you're going to vend. Find a spot. That part's hard. Find your commissary and find a spot. And ask questions. Anybody that'll answer your questions, ask them.
That sounds like great advice. If you had the option after the fire or even now to do like a, what would you call it? Like a built-in restaurant location? Like
a brick and mortar?
Brick and mortar.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't want to say food truck because like you said, this is a commercial kitchen. Are you glad that you guys kind of went this route instead of the brick and mortar?
That was what we could do at the time. And if we had the money if PG&E had ponied up even close to what we demanded from them, and I am not putting down our attorneys at all. They kicked ass. Y'all rocked it. Thank you. But if we wanted to keep going to bat and keep fighting, we could have. We could have got more, and we probably could have afforded to replace the brick and mortar. But I think that at some point we started feeling desperation for having it go, for having food here, for having a job that wasn't going to answer to somebody else again. But almost more importantly than that, because I've taken numerous jobs around here. Side note, bosses up in the mountains are way cooler than bosses down in the flatlands. Thank you, Carol. Cassie Barr, I've worked for you at your restaurant too. Thank you to you and Toby for being wonderful. Thank you to Kira for being a wonderful boss. I worked at the bar. People around here are a joy to work for. I hope I'm a joy to work for. If we had the money, we would have gone brick and mortar. Mm-hmm. But we had the money to get this, and we're dedicated to Greenville. Also, to be realistic, long-term plan, 10 years down the road, 5 years down the road, if we're beating our heads against the wall, this thing can get up and move if something didn't actually come to fruition. But that's not the case. That's not the case because we feel what's happening here and we see what's happening here and we're dedicated to these people, and I feel like there's enough people in the community that want us here that it's really worth like making less to stick around while we plan for the next thing to get bigger. So we can stay here, not so we can get bigger and go somewhere else, but so that we can maintain this, which is really what it's boiling down to needing, is expansion in order to maintain. So ideas are getting kicked around and things are happening to ensure our position right there in a brick and mortar. I can't tell you how many years of a plan it is, but it's a something to something year plan to have a 50s diner there, Region Burger.
Oh, I
Black and
love
white
that.
checkered floors, red cushiony seats, booths, Elvis, records on the wall, poets night. You know,
Dennis can perform.
Dennis can perform and Dennis can do all of the things that he wants to do, just like I can. We want to serve the community. We want to make music and art. We want to be with our kids. And we want to be business owners. Those are the things. Those are our ideals.
How exciting is it going to be, however long it takes, I don't think very long, to watch this podcast and have your first spot in the background and say, oh my gosh, I manifested it at this moment.
You know, time will tell.
Yeah.
I think that the whole process has been pretty mind-blowing. Like, this isn't like your run-of-the-mill business startup situation. It's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a great cause behind it. I think that looking back, it'll feel well deserved, and I'll see the hard work that we're putting in. And as always, when I see myself in the past, I think it's cringe every time. So future me, I apologize in advance. But whatever, I love you anyways.
And I hope that you have pictures. I want to insert pictures of how you were saying, like, the first location and you had your little greens out.
I do.
Okay, we're going to include some photos.
We've been trying to, that was like, so our main marketing is Facebook. We do everything on Facebook, really. It's just the easiest way to get things out. And so we started from the very beginning. In fact, you can see us in the beginning of the Region Burger Facebook page is Dennis, Sunny, and I walking into Anna's for the first time. As you know, this is our first step inside our new restaurant. We have no effing idea what we're doing, but here we go. And then you see us like cleaning, and so there's this one great picture that's posted. Sunny was inside the pie case inside of the Region Burger brick and mortar, and he said, I'm a cherry pie. And we took a picture of our cherry pie in the pie case. That post is, so it's all documented. Oh my gosh, yeah, I've got tons of pictures I can share with you.
Yeah, please
all
do.
the way from the beginning. So yes,
I love it.
I'll share.
This is the first time I've interviewed somebody that does husband and wife, as a husband and wife team. So what advice would you have for the girls that are considering doing that? Or anyone that's considering going to a business with their spouse?
Well, if you're going into business with your spouse, that's great. I think that going into business with my spouse was the best decision I ever made because I've got a camaraderie and I've got a captain with me that's strong and smart and 100% trustworthy. He's my husband. He's my life partner. He's always going to be there. There's no getting out of this one, Dennis. So I guess it's great because we're a great team and we're strong. And so if you can do it with your partner and you guys are solid, then you'll just be that much stronger, because I can tell that we are that much stronger together ever than we would have been apart. So that's great if you have a team. If you're going at it solo, I think I have the same advice either way. Go hard, dude. Don't go home. Go hard. And when you think you're crazy, you are. Keep going, right? When you think you're taking a risk, you probably are. think about it a few more times. And if it still doesn't get out of your head, do it. Do it and be brave, be fearless. Or if you feel fear, know that it can't kill you and just get through what you're doing and keep feeling the fear until it goes away. What advice?
I think that was beautiful advice. I'm over here half crying, half allergies. I'm like,
I've got no allergies. I'll just cry. In all seriousness, God first for us. We put God first, and we put our family first after that, and we work hard, and we do our best to follow the golden rule and be good people. Top of the stack advice, the last thing I said, be good, and everything's going to be fine.
Everything does have a way of working out.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the best way for people to reach you guys? Sounds like Facebook is the best way.
Facebook, or you can, my personal line is also my business line, so don't harass me, but always feel free to call me, find out what our hours are. I record that message on my phone every day. If there's a change in the schedule, you'll see it there. You'll also see it on Facebook. You can find us on Facebook, Region Burger. The phone number is 925-326-0055. And you can email me, but as most people know in the community, I suck at email. So just call me. Just call me. Thanks.
Do you want to do a tour?
Yeah.
Okay,
I do.
let's do a tour. Okay, we can get mobile now, so we can turn this off.
Hi, I'm Christy Hazelton. I'm co-owner of Region Burger with my husband Dennis, and we are in downtown Greenville at 136 Crescent Street. We welcome you to come down and try one of our regional burger recipes. We have great milkshakes, fries, chicken sandwiches, and we'd love to see you come down. If anybody would like to hold a birthday party or dinner or event or something here, this is actually available